Next time they write or next time they update the Oxford Dictionary or Chambers or any other dictionary, they must remember that whenever they need to define perseverance, they must put a picture right there of Nkosana Makate. Nkosana Makate, who's known as the man who invented the please call me, the Vodacom please call me, which has gone on to be used by many networks, MTN, Cell C, and many others. He is known as the man who said when he was 24 years old, I invented that and I was not paid by that. At the time, Alan Craig North was the CEO of Vodacom, and he protested. He said, look, there was a labor contract here, and whatever was on that contract meant that whatever you produce while you are employed by Vodacom, it belongs to Vodacom, which basically is what labor law says. If I hire you to be a head chef at my restaurant and you using some of these meats, these wagyus and all these other different recipes that are in, or the different foods that are there in the restaurant, you come up with a certain meal. That meal belongs to the restaurant. You cannot leave and say, oh, I came up with ASAP Wagyu. Now I'm going to have ASAP Wagyu. And I said, no, you can have your own Wagyu, but it can't be an ASAP. So Alan Craig North argued at the time that Makate was missing the point. But Makate, perseverance, 20 years later now, Vodacom has settled with the man. And they say they're not going to tell anyone how much they settled for. But there's a figure being flaunted around. People are saying 48 million. For a man who said he wanted 10 billion, 48 million would really be a step down, a proper step down. I'm one of those people that have always argued that Makate should have settled a long time ago. He shouldn't have kept on taking advices from his lawyers with their own reasons. He should have said to Vodacom, look, I've run a bill of X amount. Take care of my bill. Give me X amount of money. Even if it was for the 8 million. There's speculation that he got for the 8 million. Vodacom says they're not going to disclose a non-disclosure agreement, out of court settlement, but it's going to reflect on their yearly earnings next year, come end of the financial year. We are definitely going to be scrutinizing those reports, those earnings when they come out, when their financial year ends. We are definitely going to scrutinize because there will be a figure that will reflect. I'm sure it will reflect somewhere next to where they talk about executive pay. We'll look at the figure and we'll know exactly at the time how much was it. And I think it's going to be a roundout of what he got and what they gave his lawyers. I'm certain I'm not going to mention his name. I'm not going to say Nkosana Makate 48 million, lawyers 100 million. I'm not going to say that. It will be a roundup figure, including maybe other litigations we don't know about that are going on. So we are not going to get it exactly on the financial reporting of Vodacom to say exactly how much it got, because there are other litigations we don't know about that are not related to Please Call Me. But it's a good thing. Makate finally got his money. Makate earned the right to be the picture next to any entry of perseverance. They'll just show a figure and say, here is perseverance. This is the man that epitomizes perseverance, patience, perseverance. A man that epitomizes hard work and just believing, faith. And I think they should also put this picture next to faith. Or they should put this picture on the cover of the Bible. The Bible must stop being black. They must put a picture of a black man on the cover of the Bible and say, gospel truth. Here's the faith. Here's faith Makate. But now my point really is, look, I'm glad the brother got the settlement. I can't say what was due. I don't know what was due to me. He wanted billions. He didn't get a billion. I can assure you of that. I don't know, but I can assure you he didn't get billions. I think the figure for the 8 million is most likely because Vodacom just really, I think a couple of weeks ago started saying, we're suing you for you to pay our legal expenses after they started looking at all these cases when they were winning and then you took it somewhere else. They were saying, look, we're doing a roundup of our legal expenses and have to pay them. I think that's what really squeezed him, or he actually just got a lawyer that said, fuck it. Man, you're 49. You've been fighting since you're 24. Take the money and run, secure the bag. But here's the thing. and I think I'm saying this because I'm dull. I think whatever he got, he can triple and quadruple that. Not through these stupid investments that will say, oh, you need to go and invest there. Hey, invest in Bidvest, invest in Banba. No, not from that. And I joked about social media. I said, look, the biggest asset Makate has right now, it's his story, a film, a Netflix original of his story. Makate is sitting on that. Makate is sitting on his story. You know, if you can have story like The Wolf of Wall Street, the one about the crash in 2018, about all those people that came up with Ponzi's that ran things in Wall Street and they made money, you know, like end up making films, Netflix originals, and they got a cut of that because that's their original story. I think Makate sits on that. The biggest asset that Makate sits on right now are film rights. Even if you got 48 million film rights for Makate, if I was him, I would really just sell them for 50 million. 50 million to whoever wants to make the film, because he's the one that knows about the time he arrived at Vodacom. He knows when he went home, whether he went home by taxi or by bus or by whatever car that he used to go home. He knows about the family. He knows about the stress, family stress, relationship stress. He knows about consultations with lawyers. And lawyers can't disclose. That's the thing. They can't disclose what was happening in those chambers. They can't disclose the argument, the debate, because of a client-lawyer relationship. He is the one that knows that. He's the one that knows meeting Vodacom lawyers. They can't disclose. And imagine that story, scripted, told, getting a proper actor, like somebody who can really act. Or maybe Makate also deciding, fuck it, I'm going to become the executive producer of this thing. I'm going to sell the rights. After selling the rights, and I'm also going to come in an executive producer. So I sell the rights for like 50 million. And then you say, I'm going to put X amount of money on the story. I'm going to put 25 million on the story. And it becomes a Netflix original. He makes millions from streaming. He might end up, no, he won't get a billion though, but he might end up making a lot of money. But also having film right, you know, like owning something. So I think the big story here for my brother, not from another mother, my brother will be, look, there are options. I don't know if documentaries have been made, but I'll really think of exclusive interviews. Now he must stop giving free interviews. He must now start giving exclusive ones, the ones that are going to bring in money. I mean, on Perseverance, you could open a podcast called Perseverance. I'm sure for now you can get anybody to interview there. If you went to a business podcast and they said it's a Makate, the Makate podcast, and he's the one that asking you questions. You know, people have got grievances of thinking they've stolen their intellectual properties. I think, oh, they stolen my story. They stolen. He can ask you the right questions because he can run a podcast like that. So, but I hope they give him a show. I hope they give him a show on a TV program, a business show, because I can see it attracting a lot of people. So like and subscribe ASAP as I go in perspective, and let's make the circle bigger and let's be happy for the man.